Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina, where today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series number 50 Praetorian Guard 6-inch action figure. Packaging, as you can see, is the same as we've been seeing time and time again. Image of the character on the bottom right. That's the back. It tells you that this is number 50, good old number 50, in the Black Series 6-inch line, at least the current phase of the Black Series 6-inch line. As the supreme leader of the First Order, Snoke was flanked by crimson-clad guardians, loyal protectors encased in ornate armor ready to defend the supreme leader from any threat. Okay, so I'm going to go and spend a little bit of time, get this guy out of the package, and when we come back, we'll take a closer look at the 6-inch Praetorian Guard. Okay, so here is the Praetorian Guard out of the packaging, and I think that the aesthetics here look really good. If you watched my review of the 3 3/4 inch, the Black Series version, then you know that I really liked that figure, so it'll be interesting to see how this version compares. From all angles though, I think that the sculpt on this figure looks really good from the little that we've seen of these guys from the promotional materials of The Last Jedi. I think that this looks really close. It looks very proportionate, and I wasn't a huge fan of the design when I first saw these, but I gotta admit that it is growing on me. I'm liking it more and more as time goes on. I really do appreciate the samurai influence of the armor. From every angle, it looks really good. The paint is pretty simple since it's basically just red, but there are different elements of that. Let's go ahead and take a close-up look at the helmet. Okay, so as you can see here, it's a very unique design in the sense that there are no eyes, or there's no visor. Presumably this is mesh here, that little faceplate, and they can see through there. I don't know if we'll ever really know or if it'll be explained in the film, but it is an interesting design choice. Kind of a little eerie how you can't see any eyes or visors or anything. So it definitely ups the intimidation factor, I suppose, of these guys. But it looks really nice as far as aesthetics go. Like I said, very proportionate. I really like the look of the red plastic. It is very vibrant. You can see that although it's more of a crimson, darker pure red here for the helmet and the armored bits, the under bits there, or whatever he's wearing underneath the costume or she's wearing, is more of a matte sort of red color. There's a little bit of a black little detail right there. I don't know if it's like an LED or what that's supposed to be. And for the skirt, this is pretty interesting. They actually give it this sort of a, it's not soft goods, it's plastic, but it's very pliable, as you can see. I mean, it almost feels rubbery, and it has a very leather aesthetic look to it. And I think that it looks pretty nice. I think it complements the top of the armor pretty nicely. Now you will see that these bits right here for the armor and the arms, and they are kind of pliable as well. You can kind of squeeze some of them a little bit. Here at the top, they're more firm, and down at the bottom, they're more firm, but here in the center, they're a little bit more rubbery. So that is interesting. Now, if you lift that up, you can see that he's actually wearing black pants and very nicely textured, just like on the 3 3/4 inch figure. And then these shin guards look pretty awesome. All around, very nice looking figure for sure. Really good looking boots there. That's the bottom. Now, for articulation, you do have a ball joint at the very top of the head, and it's connected into that hinge right there for the neck, so you can bend it. And it looks down quite a bit. It also looks up quite a bit. And since it is on that ball joint at the very top, you can twist it, tilt it. That is quite nice. Now, for the shoulders, the shoulder armor itself is on a hinge, so you can actually move those up and down, and you can move them backwards, you can move them forward. I love that. Very nice. You got ball hinging at both of the shoulders, so you can move them out, you can move them forward. Very nice. They feel really stiff, no looseness here whatsoever. The biggest problem I have with the articulation, in fact, the biggest problem I have with the figure is that there are ball hinges here at both of the elbows. You can bend them up and you can bend them down, but you really can't because you can see they sculpted over them, and you can see that I can actually twist this right here. That's where those joints are, and underneath you can twist that as well, independent of this, we'll call it a cup that goes up there. And if you look in there, you can actually see that they're attached in place to the arms, so that's kind of hindering any movement. Now you can sort of like make like you're going to bend it forward, but it really doesn't do anything. Even the right one right there, I mean, And that's really a shame because on the 3 3/4 inch Black Series version, that wasn't a problem whatsoever. In fact, I'll go ahead and bring it out right here so you can see that. Now, I know there are always trade-offs when it comes to aesthetics versus functionality. And for a super articulated figure, you really want to be able to pose it. And for the 3 3/4 inch version, you can see that, yeah, the joints are a little bit more obvious, but look at the functionality. You can bend it all the way, full 90 degrees. And when you look at the 6-inch version right here, that's simply not the case. You're not going to get that same level of movement here. I mean, you're not really going to get any movement there, unfortunately. You can rotate it, but that's basically all that it is. So that is really a letdown, especially presumably since there's going to be other releases in the 6-inch line so we can get the rest of the guards. I already know that there's one in the 4-pack with the 4 different types of guards. So that is really, really unfortunate that they didn't make that more functional. At both of the wrists, you can move those forward and back, and you can rotate them. They are a little bit restricted once again since you do have these cups, but you can kind of move them. The right one seems to work a little bit better than the left one does. For whatever reason, that one seems to be more obstructed. Here at the waist, you have a ball joint. You can really only rotate it. Doesn't really do up or down movement. Here at the hips, you have ball hinging, so you can move them out quite a bit. It is a little bit hindered because of these robes here on the sides, but it's not too bad. You can still get it to move pretty much all the way up. Praetorian split. And here at the forward movement, you can do get them all the way forward as well, so that's cool. Now you do have rotations at both of the thighs. They are very, very, very tight on both of them. Super, super tight. For the knees, you have double bends, so you can get them to move all the way like that. And you just kind of got to move the sculpted bits around a little bit. Now there is some armor at the back of the calf right here, so it kind of makes it a little bit difficult to get that part to bend, but if you angle it just right, like that, you can get it to move, so pretty nice. And then above the ankles, you have the usual hinges and then the rocker pivots right there. So overall, it's nicely articulated, but like I said, it's a major letdown that those elbows are so restricted like that. Okay, so after I wrapped up this video, I went online, did a little bit of research to see if there was anything more I could do in order to get more movement out of these elbows. I talked to Robo from the Foosh, as well as a couple other people that I heard from. And yeah, I mean, basically they just said, keep playing with it. You should be able to get a little bit more movement out of those. And lo and behold, I was able, in fact, to get more movement. Now, as you can see, it's not a full 90 degrees, but, you know, movement is movement, and that is better than what I had before. Should it be better than this? Obviously, it's still pretty disappointing to me that this is the most that I'm able to get out of it, but it is a little bit better at least than what I had before. So that makes me a little bit happier, but I'm still really disappointed that that's the extent of the movement I can get out of those elbows. Now, in the way of accessories, you get this very nice blade. It's the same one that comes in the 3 3/4 inch Black Series version. And I think it looks really nice aesthetically. It's got some really nice detail, very much on par with the 3 3/4 inch version as well. You can see that there's a lot of nice sculpted goodness there in the handle part of the blade. It just looks really terrific. Even the way that they painted these silver elements right there really give it that metallic sort of look. So I really like the way that they approached it. The blade has a very nice metallic look to it as well. It looks sharp and just a very nice looking weapon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series number 50 Praetorian Guard 6-inch action figure. Overall, it's a really aesthetically gorgeous looking figure. The problem is, though, the articulation. I mean, that really hinders the figure's full functionality, which definitely shouldn't be the case at this point in the 6-inch Black Series line. We've had a ton of figures. They've continually improved the elbow joints on the 6-inch figures, especially with troopers. So I feel like there's really no excuse that the movement should be so restricted. Again, it looks great. The accessory is really nice looking. And the rest of the articulation works really well. It's just that those elbows really prevent me from fully enjoying the figure. And that really does disappoint me. So overall, if you're trying to finish the Last Jedi line of 6-inch action figures, you know, I would buy it just on principle. But it is really a letdown that it isn't fully functional. Alright, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If so, do give us a like, do subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below. Be sure to subscribe to the Cantina Chatter podcast on iTunes and follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, bye-bye.